Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back to a preview. Finally, we are back. Squad's been over in Abu Dhabi doing some warm weather training. Transfers have been happening. CEOs or people in higher footballing positions have been leaving. But apart from that, it's been relatively quiet, and I've not enjoyed it, to be honest. I've missed the football. We were on a really, really good run before we went away. Of course, from a player welfare perspective and for the rest of the season going forward, it's probably a good thing. But from maybe a selfish personal point of view, I've missed it. I've missed being able to watch my team play. I've sat and I've watched other teams play and other teams win and pick up points. And, it's a shame that we couldn't have done that. But we are back. There's no points on offer this time around, though, because it is FA Cup weekend. I say weekend. We've been stuck on a Friday night for some reason because fans clearly don't matter when they come to scheduling these things. But it is what it is. 9,000 away tickets all sold out. Big noisy away end. Looking to score our first ever goal in, I believe this is attempt number 8 now at the brand new Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. But before I get into my thoughts on this game, if you do me a massive favour and like this video and subscribe. If you are new, we're trying to reach 7k as soon as possible. The growth on this channel recently has been amazing. The return to live shows, you guys seem to really be enjoying those. We love doing them, chatting to you, these late night sort of podcast style talk with whatever news comes out. The last one did really well and you guys seem to be enjoying it. So, we'll keep them coming. But for now, you are stuck with me. Whether that's fortunate or unfortunate, I'll let you decide on that. But you are stuck with me for this one. This is my preview for Spurs against City. And yeah, let's just rip it off like a plaster. I believe this is attempt number 8, or this will be attempt number 8 at trying to score at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. We've had red cards, we've had missed penalties. The one thing that we haven't had is a goal in our favour. We've lost every single game and we haven't scored. That's a terrible record. And, this season, we have 2 attempts. We've been given I don't know whether you call it a blessing, to be honest, but we've been given a lifeline. We've been given an FA Cup draw at Tottenham. So now we have 2 attempts to try and finally score in that stadium. That is the main talking point for me. That is the main piece of business for me. I am not really too bothered about... I say I'm not too bothered. I do really want to win because at the end of the day, who doesn't want to defend the treble? But we got to at least... The minimum I am hoping for, regardless of the result, is a goal. I've not been able to celebrate a goal at this stadium yet. So that is minimum what I'm looking for. I think it's a failure if we don't score. I'd take it as a small success if we score and we lose. I think worst case scenario is probably a draw because I don't think we need the extra, the replay. I don't think we need the extra fixture. So, either way, I'm not too fussed. Of course, it's nice to win the FA Cup. We are the FA Cup holders. But in the grand scheme of things, it's not my highest priority. But again, I still want to win because, it's Tottenham. We never won there, never scored there. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of, extra factors in this one. Talking of extra factors, I just remembered this. The last time we played Tottenham, we all remember what happened. That 3-3 draw. Voldemort's cousin blowing up when we were on the counter-attack and away clean through on goal. Sure, that should play on the minds of our players. A little bit of revenge. I don't think he's the ref. I hope not, considering last time. But that should, maybe play on the minds. There's a little bit of revenge on the cards. I don't know. I'd like to think so. We felt at the time semi-cheated in the way that came around. So, this is the time to right those wrongs. And I hope that plays on the mind of the players a little bit purely for extra motivation. Now, in terms of team news both ways, to be honest, I'm not, clued in on Spurs. I haven't taken a look. I do these, like I always say, I do these before the press conferences are even done. So I have no idea who is, available from the start, who's not going to be available from the start, but available from the bench, that sort of thing from our side. I have very little clue about Spurs' squad as well. I'm going off the assumption that players like Basuma, Sarr, Son, they're still away at AFCON and the Asian Cup respectively. So they won't be available for selection. I saw Maddison was back in training yesterday. So will he play? He'll probably be on the bench if I was to think, considering he's only done like a couple of days of training before the game. I mean, I'd be surprised if he starts, but again, I wouldn't, because players like doing miraculous recoveries from injury just to play us. So I don't know about his fitness. Of course, then you flip it to our side. Of course, everybody bar Akanji is trained. Even though it's unlikely that they will all feature in this game. I don't know how much training John Stones has done. I think he did part of a session. Whether he did a full one, I'm not too sure. Haaland as well, he did a full session, no pain, but I might have been Jack Gorn who said it, I can't remember, but one of the aggregators did say that they're not rushing anything, and he's unlikely to feature against Spurs. I believe that was the case anyway, but that's just a bit of confirmation. De Bruyne, is he ready to go from the start of a match and play a full 90? Probably not. Does that mean he'll be on the bench? Possibly. Same thing with Doku. He's also coming back from an injury, maybe further along than the rest of them, because he's spent the least amount of time out and had a couple of cameos under his belt already now. So I don't really know. It's kind of hard to gauge where the squad is at. Personally, I'll throw up a predicted starting 11 on screen now. This is kind of where we're at. I think obviously Ortega will start in goal, regardless of Ederson's injury problems. I don't think it's anything major. He was training. There's literally been radio silence on that one, so it's clearly not anything too big, but Ortega was going to play this game anyway. And again, the back four is kind of the same, because I don't know, I wouldn't risk Stones for this one personally. I don't think he's even ready. And Akanji's not in training, so there's not really anywhere else to go. Rico Lewis, maybe you could see playing instead of Kyle Walker. It is a cup match, but I doubt it. Kyle Walker's the captain. So you tend to believe he'd start this game. And, with Calvin Phillips off to West Ham, I'd assume Rodri would play. There's been a bit of a break, so he hasn't played. And then going forward, I just think it's a matter of, who's been the fittest for the longest. I think those front five players have been available. They've not been injured. They've been training. There's nothing wrong with them. Then they're most likely to start. I think Oscar Bob is possibly the wild card. I wanted to throw him in there because, of course, it's got the winner against Newcastle. He's been playing really, really well in his cameo appearances. I hope he has the trust of Pep. I really hope he has the trust of Pep and he starts this game. Of course, you'd lean towards Bernardo Silva being on the right and Kovacic being in midfield. I'd say that's more likely, but I kind of just didn't want to be boring with this predicted 11. And I think Oscar Bob warrants playing. We've never scored at this stadium. He's just got a last-minute winner, St James's Park. Why not throw him in? See what happens. Well, worst comes to worst, you've got options from the bench. You can bring De Bruyne on. You know what I mean? So that's my predicted 11. You let me know what you think of that in the comment section below. Anyone that you would like to see play, maybe who, maybe won't start, whether it be like Haaland or whether you want to see De Bruyne actually start this game. Let me know in the comments. And in terms of score predictions, I am fighting off the temptation to just stick on 1-0 Tottenham, because it is written in the stars every time we play Tottenham that Son will score, he's not there. Kane will score, he's not there anymore. Or option C, whatever you want to refer to it as, some absolute bang average or dreadful player, flop, if you will score his first and only Tottenham goal against us, and will never score again for the club. Did it with Bergwijn, he scored against us, he was out the door within the next year. I'm fully expecting 1-0 Tottenham with a Timo Werner goal. If it's written in the stars, it's a script, but I can't do that. I can't bring myself to predict we're going to lose. We have to win. We have to score at that stadium at some point. So I'm going to go for a 2-1 City. I believe as soon as we get the first goal, floodgates may open. We may actually start scoring in that stadium. It's just such a mental block to have going into a game though, and you've never scored in that stadium is, something that you've got to overcome. But once you overcome it, you could just start, never being able to stop scoring. So I hope that's the case. That's my prediction 2-1 City. I believe Spurs will score because Ange hasn't played really good football, and that is, it's kind of hard to stop them from scoring. But at the back, they play a higher line. Could we expose that? Hopefully. I mean, if there's ever going to be a manager we're going to score at that stadium it's probably Ange Postecoglou with his high line. I mean, trying to score against Conte and Mourinho was I don't even want to remember it. That's my thoughts on this game. You let me know what your score predictions are. Whether you are terrified of the prospect of Timo Werner scoring his first and only goal for Tottenham Hotspur, because I am. Like this video on the way out if you would. It massively help us out the channel, and subscribe if you are new. Turn those notification bells on so you never miss videos, and so you never miss these live streams that we keep on putting out. You seem to enjoy them, so like I said, click that notification bell so you can come and join us for whenever our next live show is. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you after the game, where hopefully we finally scored a goal.